Welcome everyone. My name is Mario for Cost Spirit and welcome to the channel. So this video is going to be like a part 2 to another video that I made a few weeks ago called Are Men Losing in Our Society? So what that video is about, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically what it's about is that I saw a video that a young lady had made, and there's a link to it. There's a link to it in that video there if you want to go check out that video to see her video. But it's almost like I was sensing that she was saying that men are feeling that, they're not happy with the whole feminism movement, and the how men can be perceived as being toxic, like male toxicity, however you say that. And to me, my response to that was that men are free, and men created and co-created the experience that they're in this point in time on this planet. So if men don't like it, they could change their ways. So someone had left me a comment, and though those comments have been removed by YouTube, I think he referred to me to reading a certain book, so maybe that's what it was. The YouTube probably didn't like that book. I'm not sure. I don't know. We had a couple one or two exchanges, and and that's what made me think about making this video here, because he had said something that got my attention, right? So, anyways, let's start at the beginning. So, in the beginning, right? Depending what word you use, either you use God, Spirit, Allah, Creator, whatever you use, okay? At some point in time, that consciousness there, that God reached into his heart and pulled out a spark, okay? That spark was you. And at that point in time, he gave you sovereignty and freedom to make your own choices. Now, he did not give you sovereignty to destroy what he has created. He did not give you sovereignty to take away someone else's sovereignty. He did not give you freedom to do whatever you want, either be like if it's something really, really bad. You don't have that sovereignty. You have the sovereignty to say, well, here I am in the spirit world. I'd like to be a Palladian, right? I have a Palladian experience. So I'm going to, however they create their physical bodies, the spirit will create that, and the spirit will embody that body, and it'll have a Palladian experience, right? Maybe another lifetime you want to be a dog. So a male, female dog come together, create a physical body, and you energize that body. Maybe you decided to be a human. Well, whatever it may be. Maybe you don't even want to have a physical experience. Maybe you just want to exist in the spirit world. There lies your sovereignty, there lies your freedom, okay? But again, you're not sovereign to try to destroy what God has created. You're not sovereign to attempt to control someone else's freedom. That doesn't work, right? Because we're all sovereign, so everything eliminates itself. So from there, let's pick this lifetime here. So you said you wanted to come to this planet, and because I live in Canada, and the one that left the comment, I'm pretty sure was Canadian, right? You wanted to be a Canadian in this lifetime, so you communicated to the spirits of your mother and father, and with their agreement and agreement with God, they created a physical being which you now energize with your spirit, so you can have this physical experience as a Canadian in a certain city, right? So anyways, so from there, you grew up, you had your experience, you started living your life, you've been living your life, and at every point in your life, you've always had freedom of choice, okay? So you always had freedom. Do I live my life in a positive way, or do I live my life in a negative way, right? If someone does something to you in a negative fashion, you have a freedom of choice to respond to that negative experience with more negative energy, so amplify the darkness, create more darkness, right? or you can respond with positive energy, which would dilute that darkness and help improve things on this planet. And in other words, ascend to a higher level of consciousness. So you go through your whole life and you have your freedom in everything what you want to do. You have the freedom to interact with who you interact, to choose which job you want, right? And whatever, the things you eat, the movies you want to watch, whatever, it's your free choice. Now, what this person said, he made a comment about, he said, try not paying taxes to see what happens to you. So that's very interesting, right? So let's go with that comment there. Try not paying taxes to see what happens to you. So what I'm thinking, he's saying, well, if I don't pay my taxes, then the government will probably come in and do whatever they gotta do to get their money out of me. Let's go a step further. Let's not pay our taxes at all. Everybody in Canada should just stop paying taxes. What would happen? Well, hospitals would shut down. The roads wouldn't be maintained. Police would be gone. The army would be gone. Whatever your taxes pay would disappear. Okay? So when you pay taxes, even though the government's corrupt, even though the police force is corrupt, the army's, even though there's a lot of corruption, it doesn't really matter. You freely choose to pay taxes to have these services, regardless if they're corrupt or not. If you don't want this, right? If you didn't want this, then you should have never came to the parents you came to, because you freely chose to come here in this society where you're paying taxes. Okay? Back in the day, the natives never paid taxes. They hunted and they gathered. This is not where we are today. Where we are today, the people, through the course of evolution, did not want to go hunt. Did not want to gather. So they'd rather have a job, right, to make money so they could go buy their vegetables, so they could go buy their meats, right? They didn't like walking all this distance, so they create systems to have a car so they can drive. This is where we are today. So paying taxes is not a have to, it's a choice you made, because this is what you chose as a society, as a human race to experience. Okay? And again, if you don't want to pay taxes, don't pay. All of Canada should just stop paying taxes. All this will disappear, and it contradicts what you originally did when you were in the spirit world and you decided to come to this planet to have this experience, because you didn't have to come here. You knew you were going to pay taxes when you were in the spirit world. So if you didn't want to pay those taxes, why did you come to the planet? Right? Well, why did you choose those Canadian parents? You should have just stayed in the spirit world. God didn't force you to be here. You freely chose to come here. So this whole thing about stop paying taxes to see what happened to you, sure, nothing good's going to happen, because how can you use a service that you're not even going to pay for? How is that fair for everybody else? So I'm just going to stop paying taxes. Everybody else is going to keep paying taxes, but I'm still going to enjoy the service, right? So let's say something happens to me, something bad. I could go to the hospital and get free health care, right? I don't have to pay for it. Everybody else can pay for it, but I'll get the free health care. Does that make any sense? No, right? So anyways, so he talked about that. He talked about a few other things, but that's one of the releases that stood out to me the most. Now, going back to that video there about men not happy with feminism, and way women perceive them as being toxic and all that, whatever. Women want to see me as being toxic, knock yourself out. That's your choice, okay? I'm single. There's a good chance that I may leave this planet without ever being married, without ever having children. I am not going to allow an insecurity to drive me into getting married to someone that's going to reflect my insecurities, right? And then complain about it, right? End up in a divorce, have my kids not have their father around. I'm not going to go down that lifestyle. I'd rather leave this planet single and not have any children. To me, that's a lot better, and it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier on my health. It's a lot more joyful, right? People are upset with feminism. You think women are the only ones that are involved in feminism? You think they're the ones that just created that by themselves? Trust me when I tell you, men are very much involved in that as well. So if men are not happy with feminism, then change your ways. right? Stop feeding women's insecurities. Stop feeding women's demons, right? For men, there's a very powerful energy called hormones. We do a lot of crazy things to get the things we want. Maybe that's our issue. But maybe we should just watch this, the way we deal with women to get what we want, and maybe scale things back a little bit, or just change the way we do it. Whatever it may be. Look at yourself. Look at the way you live your life. Look at the message you're sending out into the universe. And you know what I mean? If it's negative, change it. If it's positive, then you're good to go. But trust me, and I tell you, women did not create feminism by themselves. This whole belief in men's being toxic was not created just by women. Those women were raised by men. They have fathers, right? Their fathers raised them in the certain way. So look at the fathers. Well, why did the fathers raise their daughters to act the way they're acting, right? They're brothers. They have uncles. They have grandfathers. Why are they not stepping in and saying, you know, the way you're living your life is not appropriate. You should change the way you live your life. Are they doing anything, or are they just like, oh, do whatever you want, right? Everyone's equal. You're free to do whatever you want. Have kids, don't have kids, this, that, it don't matter. Well, if nobody has kids, okay, then we're not going to be here. There will be no physical experience to have. Again, and then you could probably say, well, you're not choosing kid. That's not true. I'd like to get married and have children, but I'm just not going to lower my life, lower the way I live my life to have that happen. I'd rather have children with a woman that vibrates at my level, and we get along. There's no divorces. We raise our kids in a healthy fashion, and life is beautiful. And obviously, issues will come up, but you both been making an agreement to deal with them, and you move on with your life. That's the kind of girl I want to be with. If I don't find that girl, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow any insecurities to run my life. So that's my choice that I made. If all men make that choice, you'll see women will respond a lot better, and things on this planet will get a lot better. And if you don't care about what women think about you being toxic, or they have a job, like I don't care. If a woman has this, that, whatever, that's her freedom. That's her choice. That's nothing to do with me. I'm gonna pick the girl that works for me. And that's how I'm gonna live my life. I'm not gonna get bothered because this, that, or whatever. So, anyways, at the end of the day, this is not just for men. It's for everybody. It's for women, animals, Palladians, grays, whatever you want. We're all sovereign beings of God. We all have our freedom of choice. If you don't like the situation you're in, change it, and that's it. So anyways, we'll leave it there, and we'll talk to you next video. Goodbye.